What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and today I want to talk about some things that have been going on the internet. Okay, Miss Melody Cherie has seemed to take a little hiatus from the internet, but I wanted to address some posts that she previously put up on her Instagram, and then we're going to share how they actually pertain to Arion's recent posts with her little flimsy discount. So Melody says, so yeah, I'm going to be in the house engaging with y'all for some more days. Apparently, she's very sick. I don't think the kids are at her house. And she had been on social media quite frequently and even in some Facebook groups answering questions that people had, mainly probably because she is in quarantine right now. So that could also be why she's not really engaging very much on the internet, or posting very much, because she's not leaving the house. She's, basically trying to nurse herself back to health, which makes sense. So then she also made another post on her Instagram that reads, "My chef literally cooked me a delicious meal and dropped it off on my porch since I'm sick. And I'm so thankful, because baby, it's hitting the spot." So she's not going, I guess she's not leaving her bedroom very much. And obviously that makes sense, because if she does have the C19, she probably doesn't want to spread the germs throughout the house. Even though Melody seems to have an immaculate home, it's probably less effort that she has to put into constantly microbanning the whole damn house down. So she has a chef that's making her food for her. So good for her. Shoot, I wish I had somebody that was making food for me when I was going through that, child. So moving on. Well, she responds to a question that someone that was looking at her story asked by saying, the question was, "Did your vacation include any romance? I'll be honest, I'm rooting for love and reconciliation of such." I guess they ran out of words to say. And she says, "Is this a serious question? It can't be that hard to believe a woman can choose respect, peace, and self-love." Which I get it, because my thing is, we can't, yes, it would be nice if some people look at how their relationship looked in the past and hoping that they can somehow get back together in a manner of positivity. But there has to be so much more work done before that can even happen. And that even goes into the next question that someone asked. Another person watching her story says, "If Martell got the counseling and help he needed, would you consider trying with him again?" She said, "No, ma'am. I think some of y'all are holding on to something that I have let go, praying that in time y'all heal, just like I did, basically. Cheers to moving on." So then people go into asking her about her dating life, and they say, "Will we see Mel date on the show, get some coin from one of those dating apps?" And she laughs and says, "Nah, my reality isn't that, so no ma'am, at least for now." So, listen, this lady is trying to find her peace. She ain't really trying to find a piece of what, okay? And in the next question, somebody says, "I think you're awesome. Do your friends tend to ask you for advice?" Which I can see that, because Mel is one of those people that she seems to want to help everybody around her. And she basically expresses that in her response for saying that she's grateful to have some amazing people in her life. So she does all these mentorship programs and things of that nature. So I'm pretty sure it's a benefit to be around her as a friend, and you can gain some knowledge. But here we go with coleslaw. So I guess little chick realizes that Mel is sick. I don't know if Martell told her or whatever the case may be. So she decides to try to copy Mel, because if y'all remember when Mel was on vacation and Tank went live on her Instagram, basically drumming up all this stuff where people were thinking that Martell and Mel were getting back together. She then immediately takes the opportunity, as a good businesswoman would. All y'all looking at her page, she goes on and does a promo for her 7th Avenue beauty care line. So Ariane, with her dingleberry brain, she thought it was going to work for her. So she goes on her page and says, "After leaving family vacation and catching COVID, then him slipping up calling you my name, I know you double sick. Take 25% off of her little Alibaba clothes, whatever." Sis, wrong road, sis. This is not the way to go. Here's my thing. This is becoming a huge illness. This young lady wants to be Mel so bad. So bad. like, she literally wants to wear Mel's skin. And what she doesn't realize is she doesn't have half of Mel's brains. Hell, she don't even have a third of Mel's brains. So for you to even try to do this, can you simply try to be original in any form, shape, form of the word? Like, you don't do anything that is remotely original on your own. Your own whatever he is, because I don't know, at this point, you just his baby mama. So, and he called you 15% in a video that he has online. I'm going to attach a video here. This is an interview that Martell did where he's answering some questions and he's on this panel talking about relationships. So stay tuned to see what he says.
I want you to talk about that because we don't acknowledge that. We're laughing, but he needed that.
Yeah. And Delicious just mentioned, she just asked me, did I feel guilty? You know, it's crazy because in the beginning phase, I felt guilty. And it was like, damn, what am I doing? But I guess as time progressed, I felt less and less guilty. It almost like it became the norm. So I guess for anybody, you know, it's don't get up into that situation, period. Yeah, because it's like 7 years in, I still communicate with that girl, and she is the mother of my son. Just like that. It's crazy.
So that was like a common law marriage. You do know that, right? Like, you was emotionally invested in this relationship. So you had no intention on ending it. Like, you just had like two wives.
I mean, honestly, it wasn't my intention on staying that long. You know? I mean, honestly, I didn't want it to be the way it happened. I didn't envision that. You know, it's something that, it's like, it was my escape. Almost for like some happiness or something like that. Like, I mean, but for real though, you know, I was in a marriage, you know, my wife didn't complain about too much, really. It almost seemed like I was the one complaining. Like, damn. So, no. So, hey, you guys got to go back and watch that goddamn show. So I communicated, and my thing was, I told her what she was not doing for me. And my thing was, she told me on the show, she said, what you should have done, you should have grabbed me and set me down, and you should have told me that if you don't take care of me, I'm going to go out and cheat on you. So she expected me just to be that transparent. But I feel that if I come up to you like, hey, listen, you need to start having sex with me, like we ain't had sex in a week or whatever, you know, or you haven't cooked and, you know, it's me and the kids, I'm having to go out and get something to eat, I shouldn't have to.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, as soon as he grab her and sit her down, he gonna be on Hollywood Unlocked because he done put his hands on her, so.
But see, but then why didn't you, because we always have the option to leave before it gets to that point.
No, I'm sorry, but listen, so communication, so I feel that if she wasn't being fulfilled, I feel that she should have communicated that to me as well. And I feel that that's where we was lacking at right there.
Well, you know what, on the show, because I did watch some of it.
Yeah.
I heard you communicate to your wife on a numerous occasions, but there was something that I saw, like she wasn't listening to you. She just didn't, she told you what you was going to do. Yeah. It was, and you just looked, you would just listen, but your wheels was turning. Yeah. And I think she took the relationship for granted. Yeah. I really believe that. I think she got comfortable, and she just, because he's a excellent father. Like, they have 4 beautiful children, and he was at home with the children while she was chasing her career. Yeah. And I would sit here, and I'm like, well, she just, like, with the play situation on season 2. Yeah. Because I watched season 2, because that's where it started to, like, boil over. So she said, you said, why are you going to do this play? You're just reliving, you know, what we've already experienced. And she was like, I'm going to do the play, and you're going to support me.
I'm not trying to cut you off. I've never watched it. I'm no disrespect. I never watched that. Well, I don't even watch my own show sometimes. So I never watched the show. But I can say that what you see on TV is only 20% of what happens behind camera. Absolutely. So she's not here. I don't know this woman now, but I can speak, and I don't know your situation either, and I'm not trying to make it like I'm down your throat, because I'm not. But as a woman, I have to speak up and say, as a woman on TV, what you see is literally
not even 20%. But listen, we have him here, so you can either.
In a lot of situations, 100% of what you see on TV is really what it is. Yeah, because it actually carries over onto TV. So some of it.
Well, the focal point on this particular show.
House as the husband, did you ever think about reeling it back in, putting her in that headspace to say, you know what? You know, let me just get in her head to see where she at. Because I know me, I'm not sleeping with you and things ain't right. Like, this is precious. So just because you my husband, that doesn't mean me and you gotta roll in the bed together and the headspace ain't there. Like, you gotta reel it back in.
And so, yeah, that's one of the things I was talking about. When she wasn't sleeping with me or wasn't cooking or anything like that, I mentioned that I need to look at self. Because it's a reason that she's not wanting to lay with me or cook or something like that. So, yeah, I said, at the time, I'm mad as hell. At the time, I'm like, the fuck? I'm gonna step out, you know? And that's what happened. But a younger me, I did that. But now, me reflecting, it was wrong for me to step out. So, I take that accountability. I did. Yeah.
But how could you ask him one more question? So, was this affair going on before the show? It was going on before the show.
Hey, y'all stop that. Y'all stop that. Yeah, it was. It was.
So, I'm just wondering, like, what now, to Tammy's point about reality TV, I'm just wondering how much of what we observed had to do with the show. Because a lot of the reality TVs are destroying people's marriages. Like, a lot of things, you doing it for the camera. Or even, I think, even for her, you guys are a beautiful couple. You know, you look good on paper, but then I wonder, would she have actually left if it wasn't on the show? Because now you got all these people in your business who are giving their opinions and putting stuff in your head.
Yeah. I think things really heighten once we really get on TV. You know, and a narrative.
So you went into this show knowing you had an affair and it was probably going to play out on TV?
Well, no.
Or you thought you was going to be able to hide it?
Well, it wasn't about hiding. At times, I did stop. You followed me? So at times, I did stop cheating because, again...
But wasn't the show initially
that, I don't know if you guys didn't, but like before I entered the TV show, me and Walker sat down and I'm like, listen, it's me and you always.
Yeah, well, no, well, our things was different because, yeah, again, I did cheat and things like that, and it wasn't supposed to be brought onto the show. And so
how you do reality TV and think reality not gonna come into TV?
But I want you to finish.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Her shit didn't come out. Her cheating, it didn't come out till later on.
Okay, so
let's go.
It came
I
out.
don't want to hear that shit.
We're gonna look. When we come back, we're gonna finish the conversation about Martell. And I wanted you to go a little bit more into when you were talking about your wife's stuff didn't play out on TV and how that could have, being on TV could have a potential effect on how things played out in the marriage.
Well, considering that my ex-wife and I, we currently are filming a show, I'm not going to dig deep off into certain things because we begin to be at a better place right now. We do have 4 children, and it's real life. So I'm beginning to watch what I say, watch the moves that I make and things like that, because we try to put the kids. Well, we better put the kids first, And it has been a difficult road, going through a divorce with 4 children and things of that nature. So I'm not going to elaborate on too much.
I want to ask you one more question, and I'm going to transition. How are you incorporating that 5th child?
To me, it's very simple. I've been a great father since I had my 1st child, and I'm carrying on with my 5th. It's no difference. Yeah. I have him the times that I have my 4 children, and a lot of people look like, how do you don't let her even have a say-so about anything when it comes to my 5th child?
That's good. I want to, and I'm going to move on, but I want to hone in on that because a lot of times when you're in a relationship and you in that situation has happened, a lot of times the man allow that woman to dictate their relationship with their child.
Yeah, no. It's almost like she knew that she was pregnant before I did. She kind of put it on social media before anything. So I think she kind of braced herself for what was to come. And she know the kind of the man that I am, the father that I am, and things like that. So she knew I wasn't going to be slacking or not having him when I have the other 4 children. Okay. So it was an amazing transition. My other 4 kids love my 5th child. And again, they don't know any difference at this moment because, again, I told them about him earlier on, and then probably a couple weeks later, I introduced them. And it was almost like love at first sight. So everything's been good.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm about to watch this show.
So, and I guess the response was, I mean, I'm not doing certain things to satisfy him because of what I was doing or what I was not doing. So one or the other.
I just asked him that question off camera. Did he think that his wife, because he said that your side piece only really gave you like 15-20% of what you were missing?
Yeah, look at you, a producer up here. Okay, go ahead.
No, that's correct,
no,
right?
No, that's accurate.
Your wife was giving you 80%, but you were willing to risk that for 15 or 20?
I think that was very foolish of me to do such a thing. But at that time, I'm not thinking like, oh, my wife giving me 85% and she's giving me 15 or whatever. I wasn't thinking like that. So, I mean, if I had thought like that, I would have been like, hell no, I don't want that damn 15%. I'm going to stick in this house and sit my ass down somewhere. But that wasn't the case. I think that I wasn't thinking.
All right, y'all. So let's quickly unpack this scenario. So first and foremost, what I'm getting from this interview is that Martell is still in a state of not taking responsibility for his actions. If you can see how he got very, very elevated and emotional about the Melody cheating situation or potentially cheating situation, it's like he is more heavily inclined to blame her for everything versus just simply accepting responsibility for what he did. You know, it seemed like he was on that road in the beginning of this interview process or this panel, but then he just started to, he couldn't help but to take the opportunity to slam Mel and put her out there like, oh, well, I cheated, but she cheated too. Until he realizes that that is not the issue between the two of them and that is not going to solve their problems, him constantly bringing that up, they will always be in a negative space. You know, it seems like they were on a road to recovery, but every time it seems they take 5 steps forward, he brings them 10 steps back because he simply can't accept responsibility for anything that he does. And my thing is, it's not about her cheating. You cheated for 5 years, sir. And some people may say, okay, well, it doesn't matter how long and who cheated the longest. They both cheated. But it is a matter of opinion because many may say Mel wasn't actually cheating. What he didn't talk about on this panel was that Mel had already left him and she did entertain company from another potential male suitor, and there may or may not have been a sexual interaction between the two of them. However, that's irrelevant compared to how you guys got to that point. And that remains to be something that he is not taking full responsibility for. As it pertains to the host telling him that Mel was seemingly controlling in which she told him what to do. Ma'am, you're giving very much pick me. Like, clearly you didn't watch the show as much as you said you did, because if anybody could watch this show and come up with that as an opinion after what this man did and what this man put his family through, Martell is very much missing his family. And it's not just because he wants his kids to be in the same household with him and Mel. It's because he clearly misses the benefits of having Mel. You know, he's now in this relation. Well, I don't know what he is. He's in this situationship with Ariane Curry, which he actually calls 15%. And that's not a compliment in any stretch of the word. When I did this clip, I only recorded the questions directly driven to him and his specific responses. I'm going to add the interview in the comments so you guys can go back and see the whole thing. There were other panelists that gave their own personal perspectives in their lives, but for this video itself, I just wanted to stick to the facts and Martell's responses. And with his responses, I'm giving it a hard negative. Like, I just feel that Martell is doing whatever he has to do to remain relevant on the TV show. And I do think that a part of him is also doing it because he wants to create a better relationship with his children, because at the end of the day, his kids are not going to continue to sit back. They're getting older. They're very intelligent. They're not going to continue to sit back and allow him to disrespect their mom. So this whole trip with Martell and Mel going on this vacation, it's a step in the right direction. However, Martell needs to go and get the help that he needs to learn to accept responsibility for his actions. He, number one, needs to get Ariane in check, because also as it pertains to the children, Ariane continues to talk about, you know, she'll even make comparisons of her son, and we all know what she's doing. She's constantly on her Instagram talking about nothing, but she'll say, oh, my son is potty trained. I'm so happy he's potty trained, because you're trying to put a dig at Sugar Mama. And I don't know if Sugar Mama is potty trained or not. However, this woman is always comparing herself to Mel, and there is simply no comparison. So what Martell needs to do is get his chick under control, get his attitude under control, get his life under control, period. Just get himself together, because this constant slight dig and bashing of Mel is not going to get you in the position that you're trying to achieve in life. So y'all comment down below. Do you think Martell is actually taking a turn for better, or is he actually getting worse as the days go along? Let me know what y'all think, because sir ain't changing to me. Thank y'all for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with somebody else that needs to know what's the reals going on inside of the Martell Holt brain. All right, y'all. See y'all next time.